Today, I'm going to answer a question of how do I find an NLP trainer? Over the years, countless people have asked, but how do I find the right NLP trainer for me? Well, this answer is very individual, so I can't tell you exactly who your trainer should be, but I can tell you that I have some tips to finding the right one for you. Now, all NLP training is a little bit different and a lot the same. Hopefully, the NLP training covers the minimum requirements set forth by the NLP global body and the associations throughout the world. We'll talk about associations in just a moment. But the feel of a training is very independent to the trainer, to what their focus is, where they use NLP, how they use NLP, and who's sitting in their classroom. Some coaches or some trainers focus more on just the personal development side of NLP. Some focus on the business side. Some focus on working with NLP as a coach or a therapist. And others have more of an academic approach to NLP. So having that aspect of figuring out first and foremost, what do you want? So I have 3 tips for helping you to find the right NLP trainer for you. The first one is to identify your desire for learning NLP. Jot down 3 or 5 or 8 things that you want to get out of NLP. Do you want to be a better communicator? Do you want to become a coach? Do you want to be a better parent? Do you want to find your own passion, drive, and motivation? What really is it that you're looking for? Within that aspect of asking questions to yourself, also contemplate, where do you want to train? Do you want to only train close and local to you? If so, your options might be a little bit more limited. Are you open to doing an online training, not self-paced? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but an online live via Zoom or something like that training. Or are you willing to travel interstate or internationally in order to do the training with the trainer and the training that fits best for you? So have those 2 thoughts. What do you want to get out of the training, and where and how do you want to do it? Then start to look. Head to the nlpglobalbody.org, nlpglobalbody.org. This has a listing of all of the recognized associations throughout the world. These associations are independent associations, not tied to any specific training company. They have their independent standards, they have a code of ethics, and they run not as a profitable business generally. Some of them do, and that's okay, but they run as an association or a board that oversees the standards, integrity, and ethics of NLP throughout the world. And there are a variety of different associations. So head to the global body, find training organizations, find associations that belong to the global body, and then go to the association's website and find trainers. So step 2 is do your homework and find training organizations that meet those standards. Now, here's why this is important to me. I've been involved in NLP since 1997. I have seen so many different trainings come and go. In the olden days, all of the trainings, and this still exists primarily in Europe, all of the trainings were 21 days and above. As technology improved, as we learned more about how people learn, as we integrated adult education methodology into learning and training NLP, the days came down. They came from 21 plus to 18, 15, 14, 12, but they need to finish and end somewhere. Currently, the global body says that the minimum time frame for an NLP practitioner certification is 7 days in person, which also includes online as long as it is synchronous, that's at the same time. So a group on Zoom, for example, and it covers a specific number of hours. Sometimes that changes, so head to the global body website, you'll find out more about that. And the associations that are listed on the global body, all of their trainer members or the people that do training under that umbrella of the association would meet those requirements. So this is important because there's a lot of good marketing within NLP. And just because you identify a training course that has the word practitioner certification on it does not mean that it's a recognized certification course. In order for it to be a recognized certification course, 3 things have to be in place. First, it has to cover the correct time and content and have some sort of assessment methodologies that are providing the student with a certification because they meet and pass the requirements of certification. 2 is, does the trainer themselves have the training that that's a hard one to say. Has the training that they've completed themselves meet those requirements? And is the trainer aligned with that association? A trainer doesn't have to be a part of an association, but usually trainers that are in good standing, reputable, and integral and authentic, usually they want to be a part of an association so that their training meets those criteria and they can show to the world, hey, my training meets this criteria, and training with me means that you meet that criteria. And your training is assured to have some sort of quality to it. It doesn't really mean that you'll have quality, but we'll talk about that in a second. So step 1, figure out why you want to do NLP, what you want to get out of it, and where and how you're willing to train. 2, go on a research hunt. Go to the Global Body website. From there, head to the association websites. From there, go and find a trainer in the area that you want to train, or online, or however you want to do that. So take your time and do some research. Take your time and do some research. Unless you are getting a recommendation from a friend, a colleague, a family member, do your research. Step number 3, now is where the real fun begins. Because now my invitation to you is then contact the trainers, look at their website, talk to the trainer, ask them questions. How do they use NLP? Did they just learn it last year and now they're training? Nothing wrong with that, as long as they really know their stuff. Do they only train and they don't actually use it? What is the focus of the training? Who's in their training room? What outcomes have those students had? If you're looking to utilize NLP in a therapeutic or a coaching way, how do they support you with that? What is their after course support? Unfortunately, a lot of training that I did in the early days, I don't even know the trainers anymore. I did the training, left, they never contacted me again, except for maybe to sell me something else. Now, I don't know about you, maybe that's perfect for you, but maybe you want to have a community. So if you want to have a community, how do they support their students afterwards? Are there practice groups? Is there a social community? Is there a professional community? Is there a way to continue learning without having to pay extra money? And you might even continue on with your master practitioner or your trainer's training or something else that organization has. Is it a reputable company? Do your research online, look for reviews, look for bad reviews, look for anything that's going to give you more insight that this is a good company. Now, reviews only go so far, the positive ones, because hopefully every trainer out there, if they run a 2-day training or an 18-day training or whatever, hopefully people like their training. Look for the other side too. Look for the negative comments. And I say that particularly because it's the away from that you're going to learn the most about. If there are no bad reviews, it's phenomenal. But if there are some, pay attention to them. There are organizations throughout the world that have various complaints about them registered with the Department of Fair Trading or Commerce or whatever it's called in your country or your area. Maybe do some research there too. If it seems too good to be true, ask more questions. You cannot get an NLP certification in 5 days or completely online or just by reading books. You can do it completely online, but as long as it's synchronistic and there's people, not synchronistic, but whatever that word is, that means it's at the same time. A group of people, how do they assess? Ask questions, get curious, possibly be open to traveling, possibly be open to doing your training online. This is how I would recommend you find an NLP trainer that meets your criteria. In your questions, make sure you say to your trainer, here's what I want to get out of this course. How am I going to do that? It's easy to fall into the shiny marketing. And there's a lot of NLP companies out there that have great marketing. And they're probably good courses in a way, but they might not be recognized. And if recognition of your certification is important to you, by all means, make sure you're choosing one that's reputable. I know with an association that I'm a part of, oftentimes people apply to be a member of the association and they can't because the training that they did and they didn't do the due diligence, they didn't do the research, they just went, oh yeah, that'll do, or they played into and lent into the shiny marketing instead of doing their research and going, okay, it's important to me to have a quality training that meets the standards and is recognized. The quality of the training comes from the trainer themselves. And that's why I recommend that you ask the questions about how long have they been training? How did they get involved? What do they do with NLP? How long, how do they support their students? How many students are in a training? How do they use it? Where do their students come from? Is there a theme that they train to make sure? And if you can, see if you can watch some videos of the person training, get some interaction with them, see them coaching, whatever it is, to see their skills in action. Because when you step into the training room for the first time, you won't know if that trainer is a good trainer or not. Do your research, do a little bit of comparison, and find the trainer that fits best for you. I'm so glad that you're on the journey. If you've gotten this far in the video, that means you're going to do your research and find the right trainer that fits for you. Good luck and welcome to the world of NLP.